Imagine traveling at Mach 39, looking out of a small window and seeing the entire planet Earth looking no bigger than a marble in the endless black void. That is exactly what the 4 astronauts of the Artemis II mission experienced, and now they are finally back home. Their 9-day mission beyond the moon is complete, but the stories and the lessons from this incredible journey are just beginning to surface. From a technical standpoint, the mission was a massive success. The massive Space Launch System rocket performed almost flawlessly. The Orion spacecraft proved it was more than capable of handling the harsh environment of deep space and keeping its human cargo safe. Sure, there were a few minor hiccups, like some helium leaks in space and a toilet that acted up a little bit, but that is entirely expected for a brand new program flying humans for the very first time in decades. But beyond the hardware and the data, the real story here is the people. NASA struck absolute gold when they selected Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. When they first announced this crew 3 years ago at Ellington Field in Houston, it was a huge, glossy media event. But when those same 4 astronauts returned to that exact same hangar after splashing down in the Pacific Ocean, the vibe was completely different. The pre-flight excitement was replaced by the heavy, profound reality of what they had just witnessed. They had traveled more than 252,000 miles into space. They went more than 4,000 miles beyond the far side of the moon. They ventured farther from Earth than any human beings in the entire history of our species. When the mission commander stood on stage to address the crowd, he was almost at a loss for words. He talked about how just 24 hours earlier they were hurtling through space, and now they were suddenly back breathing Earth air. He was completely honest about the mental toll of the journey. He admitted that being hundreds of thousands of miles away from everything you have ever known is not easy. Before you launch, it feels like the ultimate dream. But once you are out there in the absolute isolation of deep space, you just want to get back to your family and your friends. It makes you realize how incredibly special it is to be human and to have a planet like Earth to call home. For those of us who were not alive to see the Apollo moon landings, this is our moment. We have watched rovers explore Mars and probes fly past Pluto, and while robotic exploration is incredibly valuable for science, it simply cannot match the emotional impact of seeing living, breathing human beings look back at us from the moon. The International Space Station has taught us how to survive in orbit for the last 25 years, but Artemis is different. It is pushing the boundaries of human endurance and psychology. Watching those astronauts say goodbye to their families before boarding that massive rocket brought a completely relatable, deeply human element to the cold calculus of space travel. They are paving the way for the next generation of explorers who will eventually build a permanent base on the lunar surface.